Hey there, fellow story lovers, and welcome back to Tell Me More Stories Told as Podcast.
Ooh, I like that.
So get ready to be transported because today we're diving into a story
Okay.
so wild, so unbelievable. You'd
Oh.
think it was ripped from the pages of a political thriller.
I'm intrigued.
We're talking about the Ibiza affair.
Ah, yes. The Ibiza affair. It's a story that proves truth is often stranger than fiction.
Absolutely.
Mm.
We're talking hidden cameras, secret deals, and a political earthquake
Oh, wow.
that shook Austria to its core.
I'm ready. Take me there.
Okay, so picture this. A luxurious villa on the stunning island of Ibiza back in July 2017.
All right.
The sun is setting, the drinks are flowing, and two prominent Austrian politicians,
Okay.
Heinz-Christian Strache, the leader of the Freedom Party, and his right-hand man, Johann Gudenus,
Okay.
are settling into what they think is a casual meeting.
Oh, this is where it gets interesting. Little did they know they were stepping into a trap. A carefully orchestrated sting operation that would change the course of Austrian politics forever.
They were meeting with a woman
Okay.
who introduced herself as Alyona Makarova,
Hmm.
claiming to be the niece of a powerful Russian oligarch.
Wow.
She promised them the world. Financial support, positive media coverage, you name it.
And what did they have to do in return?
All they had to do is play ball,
Oh, I see where this is going.
Maybe tweak a few policies in favor of Russia once the Freedom Party secured victory in the upcoming election.
Now, it's important to understand that the Freedom Party was already a significant force in Austrian politics. They had a populist right-wing platform,
Okay.
and Strache was known for his charismatic personality and, well, let's say controversial views.
So this meeting was basically a chance for them to potentially solidify their power.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the video captures them, well, seeming more than willing to entertain her propositions.
Really?
Oh, yeah. They even discussed potentially manipulating the Austrian media by buying a major tabloid, Kronenzeitung, to sway public opinion in their favor.
Wait, they were going to buy an entire newspaper? That's bold, even for a power play.
It is. And they didn't stop there. The video shows Strache boasting about connections to influential figures,
Cool.
even those close to Vladimir Putin, hinting at possibly illegal donations.
It's like they thought they were untouchable. But here's the thing that gets me.
What's that?
Throughout this whole exchange, Strache looks incredibly nervous.
Yeah.
Almost like he has a gut feeling something's off.
And in a moment of almost comical irony, Gudenus tries to reassure him, saying, "No, it's not a trap." A phrase that would later become a symbol of the scandal,
Wow.
highlighting the politician's naivete and blatant disregard for ethical boundaries.
It's like something out of a movie.
It is. The thing is, this wasn't a movie, it was real life, and the repercussions were about to hit them hard.
You're listening to Tell Me More.
Hmm?
And if you're finding this deep dive as gripping as we are,
I know I am.
make sure to hit that subscribe button to never miss another captivating story. But don't go anywhere, because in the next part,
Okay.
we're unpacking the explosive fallout of this not a trap meeting.
Ooh, can't wait.
And trust me, it's a wild ride.
Welcome back to Tell Me More.
Okay, so where were we?
Right, as we were discussing, the Ibiza affair didn't just end with the release of the video.
Yeah.
It triggered a chain reaction of events,
Okay.
a political and legal whirlwind that continues to have repercussions to this day.
Okay, so the video drops, and Strache's political career basically implodes overnight. What happens next?
Well, the immediate fallout was swift and dramatic. Strache resigned as vice chancellor.
Wow.
The coalition government collapsed and new elections were called.
It's like a domino effect.
Yeah.
One piece falls, and the whole structure crumbles.
Exactly. And to make things even more intriguing,
Oh.
Austria's interior minister, a member of Strache's own party, was also dismissed, adding fuel to the fire and sparking speculation about internal power struggles.
So not only was the government thrown into chaos, but there's this added layer of suspicion and intrigue within Strache's own party.
Right.
It's like a Shakespearean tragedy playing out on the political stage.
It's a fascinating example of how quickly power dynamics can shift when scandal strikes.
For sure.
But the story doesn't end there.
Oh.
Strache, determined to salvage his reputation,
Okay.
launched a legal battle against those he believed were responsible for the sting operation.
He wasn't going down without a fight.
He certainly wasn't. He filed a criminal complaint against several individuals,
Okay.
including the lawyer who commissioned the video, a man named Ramin Mirfakhray, and the private investigator who played a key role in setting up the meeting, Julian Hessenthaler.
So he's going after the people who set the trap. What were his arguments?
He claimed the video was illegally obtained.
Okay.
And that he was a victim of entrapment. Essentially arguing that he was lured into a compromising situation with the intention of damaging his reputation.
It sounds like he was trying to shift the blame and portray himself as the victim in all of this.
Yeah.
But there's a twist, right?
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier that additional footage surfaced later on.
Right.
What's the story with that?
In 2020, more footage from the Ibiza meeting emerged.
Okay.
And Strache claimed these uncut segments showed him rejecting the woman's offers.
Oh, really?
And asserting that he wouldn't engage in any illegal activities.
So he's saying the initial video was edited to make him look bad.
Precisely. He accused the media outlets that published the original video of manipulating the footage to portray him in a more compromising light.
Wow, talk about a plot twist.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder what really happened that night in Ibiza.
Right.
And how much of what we saw was carefully curated to fit a particular narrative.
It certainly raises questions about media ethics, the potential for manipulation, and the challenges of discerning truth in the age of digital information.
This is why I love deep dives like this.
Yeah.
There's always more to the story than what meets the eye.
Absolutely. And while the legal battles surrounding the Ibiza affair continue, one thing is clear.
What's that?
The scandal has had a profound impact on Austria.
Right.
Prompting a national conversation about political transparency, accountability, and the influence of foreign powers in domestic politics.
Speaking of foreign influence, I think it's important to remember that the woman in the video claimed to be the niece of a Russian oligarch.
Yeah.
That adds a whole other layer of intrigue to this story.
It does. The Ibiza affair sparked concerns across Europe about the role of foreign money and influence in political campaigns and decision-making. It raised questions about the vulnerability of democratic institutions to external pressures and the potential for manipulation by foreign actors.
It's like a real-life spy thriller, with shadowy figures lurking in the background pulling the strings.
It's a stark reminder that politics is often a high-stakes game, where
Yeah.
power, money, and influence are constantly in play. And while the full truth behind the Ibiza affair may never be known, its impact on Austrian and European politics is undeniable.
It's like a crack in the facade of power, revealing the complexities and potential for corruption that lie beneath the surface.
Absolutely.
Now, before we move on to the next chapter of this wild tale,
Okay.
I have to ask you about something that I found incredibly fascinating.
Go ahead.
Remember how we talked about the Venga Boys song, We're Going to Ibiza?
Yes.
Becoming an anthem for the protests following the scandal?
Yes, I remember. It's a rather amusing anecdote, isn't it?
Amusing is an understatement. It perfectly captures the absurdity of the whole situation. Here you have this cheesy 90s dance track suddenly becoming a symbol of political dissent.
It's a testament to the unpredictable nature of events and how pop culture can intersect with real-world issues in unexpected and often ironic ways.
I mean, who would have thought that a song about partying in Ibiza would become a rallying cry for political reform?
It just goes to show that sometimes humor and satire can be powerful tools for expressing dissent and challenging those in power. The fact that people were chanting this song during protests against corruption speaks volumes about the mood of the nation at the time.
It's like they were reclaiming the song, turning it into a symbol of their frustration with the political elite and their demand for change.
Exactly. And it's a reminder that even in the midst of serious political turmoil, there's still room for humor, creativity, and unexpected expressions of resistance.
Speaking of resistance, let's talk about those who are at the center of this storm.
Okay.
Who are the key players in this intricate web of intrigue?
Well, as we've discussed, there's Strache and Gudenus, two politicians caught in the sting operation. But beyond them, there are a few other individuals who deserve our attention.
All right, let's delve into this cast of characters. Give me the rundown on who they are and what role they played in this whole drama.
First, we have the lawyer, Armin Mirfakrai,
who admitted to commissioning the video. He's a somewhat enigmatic figure. And his motives for setting this whole thing in motion remain unclear.
So he's the one who hired the private investigator and essentially got the ball rolling. Why?
Well,
what was his end game?
Some speculate that he had political motivations. Perhaps aiming to expose the Freedom Party's alleged corrupt practices and prevent them from gaining more power.
A political crusader fighting fire with fire.
Possibly. But others believe he might have been driven by financial gain, hoping to profit from the video's explosive content.
So it could have been about money or ideology or maybe a combination of both.
Exactly. His true intentions remain shrouded in mystery, adding another layer of complexity to this already fascinating story.
And what about the private investigator, Julian Hessenthaler? What's his story?
He's the one who actually set up the meeting, arranged for the villa in Ibiza.
And ensured the whole thing was recorded. He's a key figure in this whole operation, the one who brought Strache and Gudenus into the trap.
It sounds like he was a master of deception, creating a scenario designed to expose the politician's true intentions.
He certainly played his role effectively.
Yeah.
However, his involvement also raises questions about the ethics of using covert surveillance techniques in political contexts.
It's a slippery slope, isn't it?
Right.
When does investigative journalism cross the line into entrapment?
It's a complex issue with no easy answers. And let's not forget about the woman who posed as the Russian oligarch's niece.
Oh, yeah.
Her identity remains a mystery, adding to the intrigue and fueling speculation about her true motivations.
She's like a ghost, appearing out of nowhere
to
play a pivotal role in this high-stakes game and then vanishing without a trace.
Yeah.
Do we have any clues about who she might be?
Unfortunately.
Or why she got involved?
Her true identity remains unknown. Some believe she might have been a professional actress hired for the role.
Interesting.
While others speculate she could have had connections to intelligence agencies or other powerful figures.
It's like a puzzle with a missing piece.
Yeah.
We have all these characters, all these motives, and yet her story remains a blank slate. It's both frustrating and fascinating at the same time.
It is. But perhaps that's part of what makes the Ibiza affair so captivating.
Right.
It's a story full of twists, turns, and unanswered questions. A reminder that even in the age of information, there are still mysteries that elude our grasp.
And it's a reminder that even the most powerful figures can be brought down by their own words and actions.
Yeah.
Especially when those words and actions are captured on hidden cameras and broadcast for the world to see.
It's a cautionary tale for politicians, and a testament to the power of investigative journalism and citizen activism in holding those in power accountable.
But the Ibiza affair is more than just a political scandal. It's a story about human nature, about ambition, betrayal, and the seductive allure of power.
It's a story that continues to resonate, prompting us to question our assumptions about those who govern us, the media we consume, and the nature of truth itself in the digital age.
As we delve deeper into the aftermath of the Ibiza affair in our next segment, we'll explore its lasting impact on Austrian and European politics.
We'll also examine the legal battles that have ensued, the ethical dilemmas raised by the sting operation, and the ongoing efforts to uncover the truth behind this captivating political thriller.
So stay tuned, folks, because this deep dive is far from over.
Not even close.
We've only just scratched the surface of this story. Welcome back to Tell Me More. We've been unpacking the Ibiza affair, a scandal that shook Austrian politics to its core. It's a story of hidden cameras, political intrigue, and a whole lot of unanswered questions.
A lot of unanswered questions, indeed. It really makes you think about, well, everything. The fragility of trust, the allure of power. I mean, the lengths people will go to. It's fascinating.
As we head into the final chapter of this wild tale, I want to kind of shift our focus to the bigger picture.
Okay.
What are the long-term implications of the Ibiza affair? Not just for Austria, but for, for the world of politics as a whole.
Well, the Ibiza affair, no doubt about it, it left a lasting impact on Austrian politics. It forced, a reassessment of political norms, ethical standards and the way political campaigns are run.
It's like a wake-up call, right?
Yeah.
It exposed that underbelly of the political system.
Yeah.
And it revealed the potential for corruption, and manipulation. That exists even in these seemingly stable democracies.
Exactly. It also led to a renewed focus on transparency and accountability, with calls for stricter regulations on campaign financing, lobbying, and the influence of foreign money in politics.
It's like the scandal ripped off a Band-Aid, exposing a wound that had been festering for years.
A good analogy. And it wasn't just Austria that felt the impact.
Right.
The Ibiza affair sent shockwaves across Europe. It raised concerns about the growing influence of far-right populist parties and their potential vulnerability to foreign interference.
Like a domino effect. One scandal in one country can trigger a ripple effect. forcing other nations to, re-examine their own political systems and safeguards.
Precisely. And the Ibiza affair also kind of highlighted the increasing role of technology in political scandals. The fact that the whole thing was captured on hidden cameras and spread rapidly through social media underscores the power of digital platforms to both expose and amplify political misconduct.
Like a double-edged sword, isn't it?
It is.
Technology can be a tool for transparency and accountability, but it can also be used for, manipulation and disinformation.
It's a challenge that democracies around the world are grappling with. How do we, harness the power of technology to strengthen democratic processes while also safeguarding against its potential for abuse?
It's a question with no easy answers. But I think the Ibiza affair, it serves as a powerful reminder that we can't afford to be complacent. We need to be vigilant, engaged, and informed citizens, demanding transparency and accountability from our elected officials.
I completely agree. And we also need to be critical consumers of information, discerning fact from fiction, recognizing the potential for manipulation in the digital age.
Now, before we wrap up our deep dive, I want to touch on the legal aftermath of the Ibiza affair. You mentioned earlier that Strache filed a criminal complaint against those involved in the sting. What's the latest on that?
The legal battles, well, they're still ongoing. Strache's attempts to clear his name and prove entrapment, they've been met with mixed results. While he hasn't been charged with any crimes directly related to the video, the scandal has undoubtedly tarnished his reputation and made a political comeback. Highly unlikely.
It's a reminder that even if you're not found guilty in a court of law, the court of public opinion can be just as, unforgiving.
Absolutely. And the legal cases have also raised important questions about the boundaries of investigative journalism, the use of hidden cameras, and the balance between freedom of the press and the right to privacy.
It's a complex issue with no easy answers. But I think the Ibiza affair has sparked an important debate about these issues, a debate that will continue to shape media practices and legal frameworks in the years to come.
A debate we need to have. As technology continues to evolve and the lines between public and private life become, increasingly blurred, we need to find ways to protect individual privacy while also ensuring transparency and accountability in the realm of politics.
Now, as we approach the end of our deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with a few key takeaways from the Ibiza affair.
I think one of the most important lessons is that no democracy is immune to corruption. The Ibiza affair, it shattered the illusion of Austria as a pristine, scandal-free nation and revealed the potential for wrongdoing that exists even in, the most established democracies.
It's a reminder that power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. We need to be constantly vigilant, holding our leaders accountable, and demanding transparency in all aspects of government.
Another key takeaway is the power of investigative journalism and citizen activism. The Ibiza affair wouldn't have come to light without the work of journalists who were willing to, dig deep, ask tough questions, and expose wrongdoing, even when it meant risking powerful interests.
It's a reminder that a free and independent press is essential for a healthy democracy. We need to support investigative journalism and protect those who are willing to speak truth to power.
And finally, I think the Ibiza affair underscores the importance of critical thinking in the digital age. We're bombarded with information from all sides, and it's easy to get caught up in the spin and sensationalism.
We need to be discerning consumers of information, evaluating sources, checking facts, and questioning narratives that seem, too good to be true.
The Ibiza affair is a story that will continue to be studied and debated for years to come. It's a cautionary tale that reminds us of the fragility of democracy, the seductive nature of power, and the importance of vigilance in safeguarding our values and institutions.
So what can we as individuals do to, prevent similar scandals from happening in the future?
Well, I think the most important thing is to stay engaged. Pay attention to what's happening in your community, in your country, and around the world. Educate yourself about the issues, get involved in political discussions, and hold your elected officials accountable.
And don't be afraid to speak up when you see something that's wrong. The Ibiza affair demonstrated the power of individuals to make a difference. It was a group of citizens who, through their actions, exposed corruption and triggered a chain of events that ultimately led to a change in government.
And remember, knowledge is power. The more informed we are, the better equipped we'll be to identify and challenge attempts to manipulate and deceive.
So as we conclude this deep dive into the Ibiza affair, I want to leave our listeners with one final thought.
Okay.
The world of politics is complex, messy, and often unpredictable. But it's also a world that we all have a stake in. The decisions made by our leaders affect our lives in profound ways.
So let's stay informed, stay engaged, and stay vigilant. Let's work together to build a world where transparency, accountability, and integrity are the guiding principles of those who hold power.
That's a powerful message to end on. And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this journey into the heart of the Ibiza affair. We hope you found it as insightful and thought-provoking as we did.
And remember, the world is full of stories waiting to be told. So stay curious, stay engaged, and keep asking those questions. Who knows what secrets we might uncover next?
And until next time, keep telling us, tell me more.